we have reason and details and data to support that Usha Vance might finally be done with JD Vance. JD Vance and his fat face and that weird guy liner. She's heading for divorcee, and we think JD Vance is bracing for it. So did JD Vance just write a romantic eulogy? Why is he so obsessed with 2013? We're going to show you. And I think we need to talk about the fact that JD Vance is really trying hard to overcompensate here. He's trying to paint this picture of a perfect marriage. For the last few days, if you've been paying attention, the media has been using these exclusive memoir excerpts to paint a picture of a man who's so obsessed with his wife. But in case you've been paying attention at all in the last 2 years, he's done nothing but disrespect her very publicly and very loudly on every chance he's gotten. And they want us to believe he's just a traditional guy finding his way back to faith. But the subtext of this book suggests something much more desperate.
Hey, JD, I got your book.
Okay.
And I just had one question for you.
Can I finish my remarks first?
Yeah, I just want to know if I could get a refund. I didn't like the book very much.
All right.
There is a piece of this puzzle that has to do with him romanticizing a version of Usha from Yale Law, because he clearly can't find her in the present. And this is the piece of the puzzle that everyone seems to be missing, because it suggests that this obsession narrative that JD Vance is trying to manufacture is a whole lot of BS, and it's a cover-up for something very messy happening in the background. Stay with me because this part matters. And real quick, I'm Lauren Paritra. Willa Paritra is taking laps around looking to see if there's any treats on the floor, which there is not. And we're going to ask you to take a moment to please make sure you're subscribed. We run this entire operation every single day, independent, solo, network-free, bootstrapped, because somebody has to keep Katie Miller down in the rankings. Katie Miller married Stephen Little Bitch Miller on purpose, and we're here just every day to humble them. So consider every sub, every follow across wherever you get your podcast, every save, every share, every comment, 6 words or more. Willa and I see it, we read it all, and we've been told that it creates this physical barrier between you and Stephen Little Bitch Miller. Stay safe, subscribe, and keep Willa off the streets and in the biscuit factory. So this situation for JD Vance has turned into another total failure, and he's busy now parading around this book, Erica Kirk style, and really going hard in the PR around how his wife just glides across the room like a goddess. He's really trying to overcompensate for something here. And this all went down while his boss, his demented boss, was caught slurring his words at a recent event. And what was Trump doing at this recent event while he was slurring his words like a demented old grandpa who got too turt at the holiday party? He was polling the audience on whether they actually like JD or they prefer Marco Rubio.
Who's it going to be? Is it going to be JD? Is it going to be somebody else? I don't know. Does anybody have? Okay, let's go. You ready? Who likes JD Vance? Who likes Marco Rubio? All right. Sounds like a good ticket. JD. That was a perfect ticket. That does not mean you have my endorsement under any circumstance.
He told a live crowd, JD doesn't have his endorsement under any circumstances. And, you know, we can agree on that. The timeline gets interesting here. Trump also told everyone in this deranged crash out that he watched Secret Service agents pick up JD by the shoulders at the White House Correspondents' Center and lift him up like a little boy.
And they came out, and within seconds, I saw them take JD by the shoulders and lift him up like he was a little boy. I said, how come they didn't lift me up so fast? They lifted JD, got ripped out of the chair. That was a view of the week.
Think about that for a second. While JD Vance is trying to act super tough, puffing his chest, I'm a leader, here's me selling my book, his boss is basically saying, you're a toddler in a suit. And today's episode is brought to you by Brickhouse Nutrition. Everyone's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. So what if you're looking to lose weight, but you're not interested in those painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects? That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The studied ingredients in lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings so you're not as hungry. But listen, lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. Let's get you started with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Visit takelean.com and enter code Lauren, that's LOREN, for 20% off and free rush shipping at takelean.com.
A couple of days ago, Trump made this statement to people in the Rose Garden. Why do you think he does that? Do you think it's a little bit of toying with you both over your succession? Why do you think he brings that up? Just number one.
Well, I just don't think it sounds like the President of the United States to have a televised competition for who would succeed him as his apprentice. I just think that's not at all what you would expect the president to do.
And it might sound like a small detail, but it's actually everything, because once we look at the memoir itself, which is, by the way, titled Communion, which is iconic because it's supposed to be about his journey, his conversion to Catholicism, but the cover features a Protestant church. It captures his career perfectly. He doesn't actually care about anything or the theology. He just wants to look good for 2028 caucuses, and he can't even do that. So in this, he spends chapters slandering what he calls prosperity gospel, which is a great choice for a guy who only exists in public service because his career was gifted to him by Daddy Peter Thiel. He is Peter Thiel's sugar baby. He also makes a point to claim that Usha has no interest in success. I don't think she went to Yale to read children's books on a podcast where she looks like a hostage victim.
I always love hearing you tell stories and remembering this one from when I was a little kid.
I think you're treating her a little bit like a doormat. And this is where it starts to kind of heat up a little bit. He even admits at this part that he was a, quote, lousy boyfriend with, quote, awful conflict management due to his trauma. He's basically telling us, Usha's patience has run out. I'm priming you for where this whole thing is going because it's going to look different real soon. So on top of JD Vance, like slandering his wife every chance he gets, and what he seems to be doing is like prefacing that something is going down in his memoir, we also have the Erica Kirk problem. And we have to look at the people who are suddenly filling the space where usually the second lady would be, specifically since late 2025. The internet has been noticing a detail. Usha was caught without her wedding ring many a times. And you know what they tried to tell us? They actually had her PR team, her spokespeople, issue a statement that she just forgot her ring because she does too many dishes and gave the kids too many baths. Give me a break. You're really trying to wrap this up in a trad wife excuse? We don't buy it. I can't even say the words. If you were JD Vance's partner, the ring would be nowhere to be found. I'm sorry, that's disgusting. I have a knot in my throat just thinking about it. But the real reason for JD Vance and this panic is much juicier. And this is the part that nobody's talking about. So while JD Vance is overcompensating so publicly about how he was so obsessed with Usha, there is a video from a Turning Point event that the campaign is desperate to bury. So you guys, how could we ever forget the JD Vance Erica Kirk embrace? That was disgusting. She palmed his head like a basketball. And we all know that was not the first time she has cupped his head like that. Come on. And his grin, that shit grin? No, absolutely not. So the implications here are not subtle. Erica has gone on the record saying she saw similarities between JD and her late husband. Barf.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
And once you see that clip and these clips, you can't unsee it. JD is allegedly finding his way back to faith, but he's doing it in a way where he's really, really heavily overcompensating with this book for what we suspect might very likely be a little bit of a divorcee coming up. We think that Usha is going to serve the papers. I want to know what you think. Do you think he's building a paper wall of like devotion? Is he priming us for when things go south to make it look like it wasn't his fault, that he did everything he could? Let me know in the comments. Remember, we are so close to 100,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. Help us stay in the top charts on Spotify and Apple and wherever you listen, and we'll be back with more.